We have our report, and now our next step is actually to translate this information into a chart. And what we're going to do is once again go back to our brainstorm and focus on this piece of information right here. What we want to do is actually think about how we want to view this information, and charts are really helpful to help us do that. You'll notice at the top we have bar charts, we have line, we have pie, donut, funnels, and scatter plots. What we have thought about is the options that we have and how we want to present this information. Firstly, we chose to present this information in a bar chart. We can either do it horizontally or vertically. I'm going to choose for us to visualize this information in a vertical way. Alright, the next thing we've got to do is choose the X, and we have to choose the X-axis. And another way to think about that is actually what the information is grouped by. So on the Y-axis we actually have the record count. On the X-axis we have the billing state or province right there. Okay, so there we go. Billing state or province is what we want to see on our X-axis. On our Y-axis we wanted to see status. So what we've got to do is actually group this information by status. And this is what we shall see. We can see Texas, North Carolina, and California right there. And so we don't want to see totals, but if we wanted to see totals, we could click on formatting and we could say show Y-axis labels, and that will give us numbers. But we've already said that we actually don't want to see that. We just want to see the data distributed in that way. We click OK, and immediately the chart will actually appear. And what happens is, because we haven't run this report, not all the data is being pulled. You'll notice it only says 20 records. So what we've got to do is actually click Run Report, and you will notice that this chart actually changes. The numbers update themselves. So what we can see is that these records are actually distributed in this chart. And if we click Save, which we have to do to make sure that our information is saved, I'm going to make sure that this is Activity. I'm going to click Save and Run Report. And there we go. So we have our first chart. Our next step is to then go ahead and put this into the dashboard. But before we do that, let's show you once again, just have a recap of what we did. If you will remember, the first thing that we did was, in the previous video, we grouped this information by state and status. The second thing we did was we actually put in our filters. And when we put this into a summary format, we could automatically create a chart. When we clicked Add Chart, we were able to choose our X-axis and our Y-axis. And we actually thought about how we wanted to view our information and used the brainstorm information to simply insert into our chart. We were able to choose a vertical bar chart. We used the X-axis and the Y-axis to choose this information. And we even had the option of accessing or even putting in various pieces of detail that we could add in. For example, we could even use Enable Hover if we wanted to see the information if we hover over only. If we click OK, we would get our chart. However, we also may want to give this chart a name. So what I'm going to do is actually highlight and copy the title of this report. I'm going to click on Formatting, and I'm actually going to put the title of this report as the title of the actual chart itself. And what I'm going to do is edit this slightly because we have there we go, right there. And we're going to click OK. And notice what happens. This chart will then get its own title, and I'm going to click Save. In the next video, what we would do is actually show you how to create the dashboard and insert this chart into that dashboard.